Papua New Guinea, just north of Australia, is wild and remote. And that's why the people who decide to go love it. About 9 million people live there, and there are over 800 languages spoken. It's not the easiest place to travel, but the reward is huge. You can watch colorful tribal festivals, dive into crystal clear water, hike through jungle-covered mountains, and meet people living in a way that haven't changed for generations. If you like real adventure, PNG delivers. Syria is in the Middle East with around 23 million people. Because of the war, most tourists have stayed away for many years. And yes, parts of the country are still tricky to visit, but some areas are starting to welcome visitors again. And for those who go, it's like stepping into the pages of ancient history. You got Roman ruins in Palmyra, the old markets of Aleppo, and the charm of Damascus, some of the oldest cities in the world. It's moving, powerful, and full of stories. Mauritania is in Western Sahara, between the Sahara Desert and the Atlantic Ocean. Around 4.5 million people live there, and it's definitely not a place many tourists go. It's hot, dry, and not set up for mass tourism. But that's what makes it so special. You can ride the famous iron ore train through the desert, the longest train in the world, visit ancient towns, and experience the endless dunes of the Sahara. It's raw, real, and unforgettable. In this episode, we're switching gears and diving into the world of unconventional travel with 3 very special tour operators. Joining me from the Extraordinary Travel Festival in Bangkok are David van Driessche, who takes travelers deep into the tribal cultures of Papua New Guinea, Fadi Assi, who's redefining tourism in Syria, and Baba Ahmed El Bekay, who introduces adventurous souls to the hidden wonders of Mauritania. But let's be honest, these are not your typical tourist destinations, and these guides are not your average tour operators. In this episode, we'll explore what makes these places unique, why they deserve to be on more travelers' radars, and the impact of visiting off-the-beaten-path locations like these. Get ready for fascinating stories, passionate discussions, and insights into some of the world's most remarkable destinations. My name is Palabo, and this is the Radio Vagabond, exploring the unexplored with trailblazing tour guides.
Meet Palabo, a man with a microphone, a suitcase full of memories, and no return ticket. This is the Radio Vagabond.
Yeah, after a few weeks of pause, we're back with another conversation from the Extraordinary Travel Festival held in Bangkok a few months back. And before we dive in, a quick word from our sponsor, Hotels25.com.
So Hotels25.com, their algorithm is trying to find those baggage fees, all that.
Yes.
You think you're getting a good deal.
Right.
And then suddenly it's like $100 more.
So they're really trying to help you.
They're trying to be your,
like a good decision.
Yeah, your buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Hotels25.com. Make sure you're getting the best deal.
To kick things off, I asked all of them to share a bit about how they got started in the travel industry and what inspired them to do so. And we're starting with Baba from Mauritania and how he got into tourism. When he was young, he was on a normal path for a young man in Mauritania.
I was just a regular person. Got my high school degree, went to university. I was going to get my bachelor, MBA, even PhD.
When he stopped for a moment to think about his future, because it's different in Mauritania than in the Western world, where you get an education and is typically hired based on your qualifications.
Back in my country, it's kind of different.
In his country, in Western Africa, it's more about knowing the right people and not so much about having a degree.
It's more than who you know.
So Baba looked at older friends and cousins who had taken that path.
So I just want to be different and shop over the college, which didn't please my mom.
His mom wasn't too pleased when he dropped out of college, basically without a plan for his future. But he found that future thanks to his mom and dates.
I was lucky because my mom from the north, so we used to go there, celebrate something called date season, happen every year where all the locals from the north escape out of the big city and they go to the north. They spend 1 month, 2 months eating dates from palm tree and meeting like relative and cousin and everything. And I was lucky as well because I had an uncle, he lived in the coast city. That's where the end train. So when we used to go to the date season, spend a month there, I used to take the train and spend the weekend with him and come back.
Baba mentioned the train, and that's not just a train, but something special that Mauritania is very famous for, and something we'll get back to.
I've been as well traveling around the country with my friends because I'm really obsessed with traveling, so I kind of discover everywhere in my country, like the north, east, south, everything. And I do the train many times, and I speak English, and I'm like, okay, I see myself in this.
But he was about to find his passion when he was 21.
And I started doing a lot of research because you gotta be so professional, otherwise you can be in this industry because people literally flying all over the way to your country. They spend 1 week or 10 days. It's the only holiday they have in the whole year. So you gotta be really professional and discover everything and, be interested in everything.
And decided to launch his travel company called Tora Mauritania.
Mauritania offer a lot of diverse attraction that can match with all kind of travelers, and we got the country is so diverse and unique, and we got sand dune, we got mountain. The landscape is really interesting, and we got 700 kilometers coastline beach and a hidden oasis in the middle of nowhere, and UNESCO sites from really some cities from old centuries, and that's what make the country is unique. And
that's what I'm asking about. I need to know more about Mauritania. If what make you travel there? If you are not interested with the train, cool.
There is
something else.
There is a lot of things to discover, not just the train. And let me tell you one example, like the sand dune that we have. It's one of the soft sand dune in the world. I got people that been in 150, 180 country, and they confirmed that it's one of the soft sand dune, and it's still authentic, still not touch it, because you don't see tracks everywhere and anything. And even though when you go there, you by yourself, it's one of the least visited countries, so it's still people taking advantage from that, where you go camping, set up camping among the stars in the middle of nowhere, or you just by yourself. There is no crowded tourists and everything, so that's a real advantage.
So a program to Mauritania can be arranged by around 1 week is enough, or you need more?
I will say 10 days. It's around from 8 to 10 days. It's the perfect amount where you visit the country. You don't feel that you rush from a place to a place, and you visit the main attraction, and you have different sense and vibe of the country. You get interact with the local community. You see how they're living their life, and you're gonna have so much fun and memorable experience there.
He's still the sole owner, but has a team.
Definitely, we have high standard, professional teams. Now we have 45 employees, in total, including
45.
45.
Oh,
yeah, including drivers, guides, and most of my team, they have 10, 15, even 20 years experience. That's where you can tell that the company have 20 years experience. Well, I'm the founder. I've been in this industry only 4 years, but the whole staff, most of them, they have that experience, and they know what to do. They don't panic, where they reach to any place, that everyone know what to do and everything. They kind of interact with clients and understand more what they're looking for, because we see the potential of Mauritania. People just start getting to know the country and everything.
Because you are doing a great business. Everybody talk about you in Mauritania.
Thank you so much.
I hear only your name in Mauritania. From many guests who came to me, so they told me Papa in Mauritania is the best.
Yeah,
so your reputation is the best in Mauritania, in your country.
Yes, Baba has a great reputation. And most people here at the Extraordinary Travel Festival have either heard about him or even traveled with him when they were visiting Mauritania. The voice you heard saying that was Fadi Assi, who also has a similar great reputation when it comes to his country, Syria. And actually, he was awarded Most Trusted Local Fixer at the Nomadmania Travel Awards. That was the show I co-hosted in a bunker in Ukraine in October 23. He started in tourism just before the Civil War.
From 1997, I started my working in tourism as a tourist guide. Then, at 2011, we stopped. But we have hope inside us to bring back the tourism back after this war is finished. And we start again at 2018.
Fadi is the co-founder of Golden Teen.
Our passion to bring back the tourism back to Syria, because we have a lot of things we can depend on to get Syria back to tourism.
Syria has faced significant challenges in recent years. The brutal civil war had largely settled into a stalemate by early 23 and transitioned into a frozen conflict. And just a few weeks after we did this conversation in Bangkok, Bashar al-Assad, the dictator and president of Syria, was overthrown and fled to Russia. It's too soon to say how it will end, but I feel it's moving in the right direction and hopefully it can come to a conclusion without any more bloodshed. Fadi can't wait to bring back tourists and show the world that his country is so much more than war and destruction.
To give very civilized face to Syria, to the world, and to rebuild our country, to make something very perfect or very unforgettable for them.
I had the pleasure of meeting Fadi in person for the first time when I did a trip to Syria in May 24. This trip was both perfect and unforgettable, and something that'll be documented in future episodes of the Radio Vagabond. I recorded a ton there. We were some of the first tourists in the country after the war, and everywhere we went, we saw smiles on people's faces because they saw us as a symbol of Syria coming back to some kind of normal life.
Yes, the Syrian people, when they see tourists walking in the street, they are surprised and they feel happy from inside because they feel the hope is coming back to this country. And anyone who came and visit Syria after the war, they like the people. They like the way we deal with them. This country has suffered a lot. We lost a lot of people in this country. We lost a lot of passion. We lost a lot of properties, money, everything. But now we have only the hope. And those people who comes to Syria, they bring the hope with them. In their faces, in their hearts, they bring the hope to Syrians to give them the hope that you have to stand up again and you have to never forget anything about the hope for the future to be better than before.
You might be thinking, is it really safe to visit Syria? And our third tour guide, David van Driessche from Papua New Guinea, that we'll get to next, also has that question.
I have one question also,
yes,
because I also work a lot with security in the country. Is it like safe now to go there 100%, or you still have some areas?
Look, when we work in tourism, we have some agreement with the government between us as the tourism agencies and the government. We are responsible about our passengers from the time they enter till the time they leave. So we make this declaration from the government to us. Okay, you bring the tourist, you have to be responsible about him all the time he will be in Syria. Even he was sleeping, we are responsible about him. So that's our duty, to keep this journey safe 100%. So we choose the places for the visit to be safe 100%. We choose the route to be safe 100%. We choose also the restaurant, the food, everything to be safety 100% for our customers. And we give them the advices for everything, what to do and what should be done, what shouldn't be done.
All right. Yeah, but are there areas where it's not safe? Because when we were in Damascus, it was okay to walk alone, even in the middle of the night when we were at the karaoke bar.
Also in Damascus, there is some parts of Damascus which still have some people from Iran or Hezbollah, they are coming and staying in some areas which very known from us. We know that areas, and we don't take our passengers there, because if there is some personality like important to Hezbollah or to Iran, he's a target for Israel, and they strike him.
Yeah.
So we don't want to put ourselves in trouble with this. So for that, we are sure that when anyone came to Syria, we are sure that he is safe 100%.
Let's move a bit further east to Papua New Guinea. But first, it's time for
The Vagabond Hotline.
Got a tale from the road, big or small. A wild adventure or no story at all. Tell me all, don't waste no time. Jump on the Vagabond Hotline.
one of the greatest joys of traveling is diving into new cultures, meeting new people, and, let's be honest, completely butchering the local language. No matter how many words or phrases you can memorize, it's always that moment when you confidently say something, and suddenly you're getting some very confused and horrified looks. A few weeks ago, I asked you to share your funniest lost in translation moments. And let's just say I am relieved to know that I'm not the only one who has accidentally ordered something bizarre, offended someone without meaning to, or found themselves in a hilarious, awkward situation.
Lost in translation? Perfect. Let's talk about it.
I got this one from Luca from Milan, Italy.
I was in Thailand, wandering through a bustling night market, drawn in by the sizzling sounds and rich aromas of street food. The smoky scent of grilled meat and fragrant spices filled the air, and I wanted to compliment the vendor on how incredible everything smelled. With a big smile, I confidently said what I thought was the right phrase in Thai. The vendor froze, chopsticks hovering mid-air, and just stared at me. A second later, he burst out laughing. Not just a chuckle, but full-on belly laughter. Wiping tears from his eyes as he repeated what I'd just said to the nearby vendors, who also started cracking up. Confused, I fumbled for my phone to check my translation app. That's when it hit me. Instead of saying, "This smells good," I had proudly announced, "This smells like a dead animal." The vendor, still laughing, patted me on the shoulder and gave me an extra skewer of grilled chicken. Maybe out of pity, maybe as a reward for making his night. Either way, I triple-checked every translation for the rest of my trip.
Sarah from Toronto, Canada says,
I was in a tiny cafe in France and wanted to tell the waiter I was full after a huge meal. So I said, "Je suis plein," with a big smile. He suddenly looked very uncomfortable and hurried away. My French-speaking friend nearly choked on her wine laughing because apparently I had just announced to the waiter that I was pregnant. Definitely not what I meant.
And Hiroshi from Osaka, Japan sent me this one.
I was traveling in Brazil and tried to ask for pasta at a restaurant. But instead of saying mesa, which means pasta, I accidentally said maca, which means apple. The waiter looked so confused, but he brought me a bowl of apples with a fork and spoon. I was so embarrassed, I just ate the apples like that and pretended it was exactly what I wanted.
Thank you guys for participating, and if you also have some funny moments, please send them along to me.
He came. He saw. He mispronounced something horribly. The Radio Vagabond.
The next Vagabond hotline is one travel hack I swear by. Over the years, I've learned a few travel hacks that have saved me money, time, and even a few headaches. Like rolling my clothes up instead of folding them. It's such a game changer for packing. But I know that there are so many other brilliant travel hacks out there. So what's yours? The one travel hack that you swear by and tell everybody about? I'd love to share them on the show. Head over to theradiovagabond.com/contact and send me a message or record a quick voice message. It's super easy. Just click on Talk to Me.
Not all those who wander are lost. J.R.R. Tolkien. The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page. St. Augustine. Gotta keep moving. The Radio Vagabond.
Now, David, you're originally from Belgium, but you've lived here in Bangkok for 25 years.
Yes, almost, yes.
Yeah, and you were doing tours to Papua New Guinea.
Yeah.
What drew you to do that?
Well, I was starting with a photography tour business in Thailand. So my main countries were like Thailand, Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam, and a little bit Madagascar, and sometimes special.
Oh, that's
tour.
a little bit out of the way.
Yeah, I know. But we had a direct flight, Bangkok, Madagascar.
Yeah.
So it was only 7-hour direct flight.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite countries as well. But a lot of my trips were also doing ethnic minorities, so special cultures. In northern Vietnam, you have still a lot of them left, where they dress traditional clothing for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And when you do your research on tribal photography, or how do you want to call it, ethnic minority, you come to Papua New Guinea as a holy grail, because it's 800 different tribes there and 800 different languages. And every tribe, when you see the photos, it hasn't been explored a lot by photographers, but it's so amazing to see all the different colors in their face. Yeah. Each tribe has a different attire, different painting, different dresses, and it's all used with natural materials. So about 7-8 years ago, me and my friend that I travel a lot with, we are both photographers. And whenever we go to a country first, me and him, we go together to explore everything. And our guide, when we went to the tribes, we stayed in the cities like Goroka and Mount Hagen. But, you know, that's a city. And it's not what you want to see when you go to Papua. You
want to go to the villages.
Yeah, you need to go to the mountains and the small villages where the tribes are located, right? Because in the village, people are already using cell phones, dressing normally and all that. So our guide asked us, do you want to stay here tonight? We were with the tribes, right? Or you want to go back to the hotel? And, you know, when you're a photographer, you say, we stay here, of course. But we slept in a very small traditional house. But the people...
And no electricity, no toilet.
They made it for tourists, but they didn't know yet how to do it, right? So my idea was, if I help them to do it in the correct way, then it will be better for people to come and visit and stay here for a longer time. Yeah. Because like you said, there was no electricity. There was no decent toilet. It was just a hole in the ground in the middle of the forest with spiders, a little roof with plastic. And so it wasn't really enough to bring international tourists. But then I talked to them and I said, are you interested in developing tourism? And they said, yeah, we're waiting for this for 20 years already. And the government didn't really help them and everything. So I said, why not join hands and you make your traditional house like you've done it for hundreds of years, but I'll do the inside. You know, and in the inside I made a clean toilet, clean shower, good bed with a mattress and bed linen and everything. That's all you need, right? So we started building about 4 years ago with 5 rooms, and then they already got booked a lot, especially during the high season. And then we started building more and more and more. So now we're about 35 rooms in different places.
That's great.
So you're able to do plumbing and running water? And
yeah, it was a challenge because I'm not an architect or an engineer or anything.
And
so
how do you
I'm just a photographer.
There aren't any pipes going in and out. How do you do that?
It's a challenge. We have a big water tank, like a 10,000 liter tank. And we have to make it high so there's pressure. Yeah. And then we connect pipes to all the rooms. And
electricity, was that with a generator?
Yeah, well, that's a funny story also, because we're not that far from the main highway, but we bought it about 2,000 euro we paid to make a line from the highway to the lodge. But after 3 months, somebody hit one of the poles on the highway with a car, and we've been out of electricity now again for 6 months.
Wow. No, why didn't you think about the solar system?
Yeah, we also have some little bit solar, but you know, it's not enough because we have to power many things in the restaurant. Also, the kitchen, the refrigerators, it's a lot. Yeah. So you need a generator. Yeah, we have a generator now, so reuse them.
But is it still the authentic experience? Because it seems like it would be changing a lot. You make it look like it does on the outside, but then on the inside, it's like, is it like a movie set? Or some people might say that.
Well, the lodge is next to the village, and the village has never been touched. So when you go out of the lodge and you walk in the village, you will see the real Papua New Guinea, for sure. But the dressing and the tribal aspects, that's from their ancestors, right?
Yeah.
It's something they don't do every day. They don't use these colors every day in the morning like.
They have some days, special days
like,
for celebration.
Yeah, weddings, funerals, openings of buildings. They will still do that without tourism, and they've been doing it for hundreds of years.
So it's not like, okay, the tourists are coming and then we're dressing up, and then the rest of the time they're going around in jeans and a t-shirt.
Well, a little bit, yes, but it's not that they're doing it for tourists only.
No.
Right? This culture has been alive for hundreds of years, and it's been passed on, but they don't do it every day. They don't dress like this every day. It's a cultural, it's like we go to church and we use our best suit, right? So for them, it's like a celebration dressing, which has been passed on for hundreds of years.
So you cannot like create event with them for your tourists, or they
Yes,
refuse that?
we do that. They all dress up in the hotel or around the hotel for the tourists, of course. Yeah.
Like for the terms and like the conditions when they have wedding or when they have funerary.
Yeah. We will like.
You don't have to kill somebody to have funerary.
We recreate this culture for the tourists in the lodges. Because if you go to Papua New Guinea and you say, "Oh, I want to explore on my own," you can go to a mudman village and they will perform, but it's more touristy than we are doing, because we will take the mudman, for example, we will go to their holy mountain and they will do the painting and the dressing on the mountain instead of in a hotel or, a little stage made for tourists, which happened in the 80s. And,
Lovely.
So we try to make it back to the original case. And also for photographers, it's more nice to have a nature background than somewhere in a hotel lobby, right?
Yes, exactly.
So all our trips, and also we can do both. We can do the high adventures people and go very far in the mountains and see all the villages. But if you're a little bit older and you're not mobile, then the tribes can come to the lodge. You don't even have to walk like 20 meters and you can still see. So we're very adjustable in the program according to the demands of the clients.
Speaking of this, are you planning to, like from your personal perspective, to do any moves or ideas that can lead to impact tourism sustainable there and bringing, like, attracts more people?
Yeah, of course. Our concept is we don't own the land, our company, right? So it's just a cooperation between me and my friend, who's also an investor. We do half, but we also give half of the room rate to the tribes, and they will divide it to the village.
That's good.
Yeah. So we don't take everything. We give 50% to them.
That's lovely.
Because they own the land.
Yeah, that's lovely.
That's great.
That's good from you and also good for them.
And they need it.
For one thing, like the taxes, the government, they put the taxes on also.
Yeah.
Working, everything.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really great. And I think that's something common in us, because like three of us, because that's what we want to do, which is giving back to the community and doing something for our own people and like create more like, jobs in community. And, like that's something can be really great and like big.
And I guess that goes for you too as well, both for Syria and Mauritania, that it's good for the community. Can you talk a little bit about that, Papa?
Yeah, sure. Like the reason that I'm really loving doing this, because, it's the great thing that I like really want to do. And it's just like, as long as you grow, it's good for the community. As I mentioned, we have 45 employees, like in total, and most of them, they have a family, they have kids, they have everything. So while they work in the tourism industry, they really love in doing this, because that's something can make them afford the life and everything. And especially on the north, there is nothing. And they were lucky, because like where the main majority of the people in the north locals. Like there is nothing there. There is no factory. There is no other industry. Only the mine company, and that's where the main attractions in the country there. So that's where the tourism industry play a big role, like providing such a really huge job opportunity for people. And yeah, it's just the best thing. And that's why as well, Fadi, speaking of, probably you heard people a lot saying my name because, you know, even though I'm the founder and everything, I'm into this, and I always go in tours, no matter what. Every time I'm available, I'm doing this because it's the best thing you have as well. I love travel, so this is the perfect thing where you connect with people from all over the world, exchange culture, traditions, and you just travel from your home, I guess, and it's really
that's good because, like I told you, anyone who came to Syria, he came to visit me. When we talk about Mauritania, just they mention Papa.
Right? Yeah, because
directly. Because
you
are like,
and every time people talk about Syria, they mention you. To be honest,
I'm doing this full time, you know, because I really love this. It's more than job for me; it's a hobby, and kind of like I built the company in three like foundation, mission, and vision, and visions, and you know, we have two main goals. First, to make the clients have such a memorable experience. And second, be totally satisfied with our service and all it comes because we believe in people and people brought us where we are here. Yeah.
It's very important that you give back to the communities that you work with. Right?
Totally
So, for example, we have a tree festival trip every year in June, and we have 500 performers. So everybody gets paid. So there's like a lot of people are getting dependent on the stuff that we are doing, right?
That's something like unique. The best thing, like, you know, is being counted as someone who make a difference, not just a living in the community. And that's really something I respect and I encourage.
So I've obviously been to Syria and I loved it. I haven't been to Papua New Guinea yet, and it's very high on my bucket list. And I've already told you this, Baba, about Mauritania, and I'm almost embarrassed to tell this story, but I'm going to do it anyway. You know, as travelers like me, when we're often asked, what's your favorite country? And I say, blah, blah, blah. And what's your least favorite country? And I hate that question. And for a long time, I'm not doing it anymore. For a long time, I said, well, Mauritania. And then I spoke to somebody who's been there and had the real experience, probably on a tour with you. Said, what do you mean? It's one of my favorite countries. And what I did was I came from Western Sahara and spent 2 days driving through. Came to the capital at 2 o'clock at night and just had a few hours of sleep. Got back in the car, driving down the road, trying to avoid the potholes and the hitting a cow or something else, and then I left the country. That was my experience, just driving down the road.
But you would have the same thing in Papua New Guinea.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you just like literally cross the country overland on the like you didn't see anything.
No, and I was sitting in a car on the back seat without air condition and just bumping along the road, and it was a long day, and that was my experience of Mauritania. So even though I spent a couple of days there, technically, I did not see anything, and now I'm so embarrassed, and I will never say that again, and I want to come back, I want to do everything.
I wish if I met you that time. You're going to have totally this different perspective about the country. It's one of the, like, you know, the country is really offer a lot of things, and it's the main advantage is like it's one of the least visit countries, so it's still less tourists. And other place you feel that you're just there alone, like, and when you go to the like old city, like you think that you're back in the old centuries and you're just alone and you got the time to take pictures and the sand dune you by yourself.
You need a guy like him to show you the place.
Otherwise, it's really
and obviously we mentioned it briefly, but it's very famous for the iron ore train. What is that experience? Do you get on the train? Do you sit on? Tell me about it.
Yeah, sure. So the iron ore train is what the country been known in the last couple, 3-4 years, and you know it bring a lot of attention and everything. And it's just a unique experience for adventure seekers.
Is it the longest train in the world?
It's the longest train in the world, like 3 kilometers longer. You know, the size of it. It's insane. It's huge. So you just sit on the iron ore cargo wagon on the top for 18 hours enjoying the landscape and have the sunset and shooting stars, Milky Way, and sunrise in the middle in nowhere. It's something you gotta do like at least one time in life.
It doesn't sound comfortable. It sounds adventurous, but it doesn't sound that comfortable.
So do you have any shade?
You sit in the burning sun, and
that's what we, that's
18
where
hours.
that's where the logistic and the tour guide matters. Because if you ask some of the people, probably they will hear this. Like they've been there and they say like, those little details on the train, they make their experience, like a mattress, like a pillow, like a blanket, like cooler box with drinks, soft drinks and everything. That can give you can give you a different vibe and enjoy the experience. And we're trying to make it as much as comfortable.
Like to make it special experience, you have to follow these things. Exactly. By piece.
If you just go there and like buy yourself something, it kind of be like really tough. It's still tough anyway, but like we try to do as much as like comfy and people really enjoying it. We like when you be on the train, we make it flat. We put the mattress and you sit and you have the 5-star hotel watching the sky under the night,
Yeah, and when I finally do it, and I promise you that I will do it, I will bring my microphone and I'll get some amazing sounds from that trip.
I would love to host you personally, and I will definitely, you gotta tell me. And one thing to add, that the first time you came through the country and you just crossed the sea, you didn't see anything. And, I always wonder, like, have you ever thought, like, what's the most always things that make our trip memorable is usually often the people that we meet along the way. Yeah. And that's where the tour guide as well play a big role, because you create a memorable experience for people, and that's can make be a big thing in their experience, and they can have memorable memories for a lifetime,
I feel so ashamed of telling that story, but I just needed to, and I've already told you this. So
thanks for sharing that with me, and I will make it up for you when you make it back. Just let me know.
He's the radio vagabond, podcasting his way across continents and cultures. Man, he's got it made. He's the radio vagabond, the world in his view, inspiring adventures bold and true.
Okay, finally, looking ahead, what are the hopes and goals for tourism going into the future for your destinations? Let's start with you, David.
Well, we have a little bit of a problem during the Goroka show, which is a big event in Papua New Guinea in September, and the Hagen show in August. So right now I have probably 200 people asking for rooms for the same 3 days a year. Mm-hmm. And then months like December, we're almost empty the whole month. Uh-huh. So it's very seasonal.
Yeah.
And now I get all these requests, and I'm always telling my friends and my partners that own the land and the villages, should we build more?
Yeah.
But if we build, we're not making any money at all. So we've been building and not taking any profits at the moment. And for us, we said, okay, 25, we're going to make a little bit of money for everybody. Yeah. So I said, do we build more, or do we just take a little bit for ourselves this year? But now we get all these requests, and it's a shame, it's a little bit of, I hope that we can build more rooms, but I also have to think about all the families over there. It's not only me. Yeah. I mean, our company is not big. We have in reservation, we have only 3 people. Mm-hmm. But if you look at the whole thing, there's about 500 people, not dependent, but let's say about 20 who are now, 20 or 40 people that are really living from this in Papua. Yeah. And then you have 500 who occasionally get paid some extra money, which helps them a lot. Buying soap basics. They just need the basics, like soap and cooking oil and sugar, salt. For us, it's just obvious, right? Yeah. But for them, it's a challenge to get it, especially if you live on the other side of the mountain. Mm-hmm. So we go now. We've over the years, what I've noticed is that first we met people, tribes along the who are not too far from the highway. And that's where we built the lodges, because it's easy to drive and to, put the luggage out.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed now is that we're going way beyond them, away from the highway more and more, because the tribes on the other side of the mountain are hearing, hey, there's tourists coming over there. We want to go there and show our culture as well. So instead of having 3 or 4 tribes around the lodge, now we have 10 to 15 or 20 already. So they're all coming and want to meet the tourists. Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
And that's about it. We were just talking a little bit about photography tours where we can also join together, because
That's cool.
I could do a yearly trip with my clients who follow the photography kind of aspect to different countries, right? So I'm always open to...
Yeah. There might be a collaboration starting here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm finished, so I leave the word to the future.
The future of Mauritania for tourism.
Okay, that sounds big, and I've been doing a lot of couple of moves and implementing the vision that I have, and to make the tourism sustainable in Mauritania and boost the tourism industry, by doing a whole a training for the youth there, because I believe in the youth, and as well attending conference here to promote the country and change the fact that it's one of the least visited country. And we've been doing really a lot of progress, and people are already we growing, and we kind of have to think about the future and what we can do every year to improve. And every year we do brainstorming with our staff, and employees, what we can do, where you think that it's missing, just share a couple ideas and everything. And it's been really affecting, and it's been doing great, and we're really happy to.
So is there a national tourism board that you work with?
Yeah, they have tourism office, and that's where they attend. Promote the country as well.
Yeah.
Certain
a world travel market and stuff like that.
Yeah. The World Expo and everything. And, I go there often and share my ideas, and as well in the tourism industry. I always love to I've been writing couple ideas about how to improve and boost the tourism industry, because I believe that, the two main industry that you can promote and let people know about the country and the community are education first, then tourism industry.
Yeah.
For Syria, we are waiting for the sanctions to lift in Syria so that we can be more free to do something more important for our people and for our tourists, so they can be safely come. Everyone can do whatever he wants. So the sanctions is the last thing we think about it now to be finished of Syria.
Fadi normally has a lot to say. That's one of the things I like about him. But this time he had to make his thoughts on the future a bit short.
I have to go because I need to check in the metro at 3 o'clock.
Because he was heading back to Syria and had a train to catch.
Sorry. No. I have to catch the train.
So quickly, as he says goodbye and rushes out of the room,
bye-bye.
Let me talk about how I recorded this episode. As you might know, I always try to get the best audio quality.
Okay.
And for things like this, I get the best with my Nomono sound capsule. It's a cool device where I put a small wireless microphone in the collar of each person, and apart from the fact that the sound quality is great, it also makes the guests relax a bit more than if they're having a big professional microphone in their face. It's more a normal conversation, and they almost forget that they have a microphone attached to them.
I'm coming from the hotel directly now.
And that was exactly what happened here.
5 minutes, I will be there.
Fadi says goodbye and starts walking through the big hotel lobby and out on the street, with the microphone still on his shirt. thank God I realized this before he gets on the train, and I run after him, fast, through the lobby and down the street. And even though he's far away, it is still recording. Here you can hear me catch up with him far down the street.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
If I hadn't, that microphone would be in Syria by now. If you're a podcaster or a radio reporter and looking for a cool set of microphones, check it out. nomono.com.
I had to run after Fadi because he was wearing a microphone. I caught him way down the street.
And that's it. I know that this episode have been a long way coming. I mean, what can I say? I've been busy. Currently, I'm in Cape Town and still looking for great stories for future episodes. And I'll do my best to bring you some cool content pretty soon.
I can't believe he almost got on the metro with this.
I'm going to give it to you now. Are we finished yet? Yeah, we finished.
Again, remember to send your best travel hack. And then I only have a dozen words left. My name is Palabo, and I gotta keep moving. See ya.
Radio Vagabond.
Produced by RadioGuru.co.uk.